Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to give our story titled, My Wife of 6 years had a 6-month affair with her ex and destroyed our relationship. And guys, this story was actually sent over to me by a subscriber. He first posted his story and his situation online looking for guidance and answers. And then he emailed me a link to his story and requested that, if I had time to read the story he posted and maybe do a video on it to really see if I could help him out. So that's what I'm going to do. And essentially, guys, this is about a guy who made the mistake of doing two big things. Number one, getting married in today's world. But number two, marrying 100% the wrong girl. I mean, this is a situation where the saying goes, you can't turn an HOE into a housewife. 100%. And you're going to see in this story, guys, that he marries this girl that before they got married, they had an open relationship. If you want to talk about one of the biggest boneheaded moves to marry a gal who, and it sounds like her idea, by the way, to have an open relationship. If you think that you're going to marry her and then she's going to be all yours, you're out of your damn mind. But that's what happens here. And from the get-go, when they get married, it is never-ending problems and deceit and lying and cheating and all that. But guys, you're going to see, this guy doesn't help his situation. He just enables her behavior by letting things slide, not standing up for himself, etc., etc. And to no surprise, now, it was a mess. But you're going to see eventually he has enough, and that's it. He's done. He's divorcing her. And now she's pretty much terrified that she's going to end up on the streets and not be able to take care of herself because guess what? The house is 100% in his name and amongst many other things you're going to see here. So I'm going to go through this story, guys, and I'm going to definitely, to be fair here, to help this guy out, point out everything that he was doing wrong. Because believe me, she's a piece of garbage, and you're going to see this real quick. But he didn't help the situation. He didn't help himself. And so I can't help him because, by the way, he's a relationship guy, and one day he wants to have another relationship with someone that's going to treat him well. He's not going to have that if he doesn't understand where he went wrong, that he doesn't repeat himself down the road. Because otherwise, he'll be making these same mistakes down the road with some other chick, and he'll be back here writing me in 5 years. And I'm also doing this to help other guys as well to not make this mistake. So all things from red flags, standing up for yourself, trusting your gut, all those types of things that are important, which I talk about repeatedly in the videos I do. Anyhow, starts off, he says, what a crazy train ride it has been. I'm 33 years old and I'm currently going through a painful divorce and thought I should share my story to help process the numbness and loss I feel and how to evaluate how this train wreck occurred. Me and my wife were co-workers for a time 9 years ago. From the time we met, we were extremely attracted to each other, sparks flew, and we hit it off immediately. Well, that's pretty much how all these stories start. I dated around a good amount in my younger 20s, but there was something different with her that made me feel safe and happy. Safe and happy? Not with this girl. There is nothing safe and happy in this story which you guys are about to hear. After several years of dating and living with each other, we decided to get married. I remember even at the time I proposed, it didn't feel right. We had an open relationship mostly because she wanted that lifestyle. She wanted that lifestyle. And unfortunately, I went along for the ride. Never marry in a polyamorous relationship. You got that right. So notice he said that when he proposed to her, it didn't feel right. That's when you should have backed out of your proposal. Or if you felt that way prior to proposing, you should have listened to your gut. It wasn't jitters about, tying the knot or what people always claim. Your gut was telling you something was wrong. But if you had an open relationship with this girl, what made you think that when you're going to marry her, everything would be great? That she'll be just yours? Or if you decide to have that relationship in a marriage, that she'd abide by rules and things like that? There is no way. You never marry someone, well, let me rephrase it, you don't get married at all pretty much in the 2020s, but certainly not someone with an open marriage. It's a recipe for disaster, okay? And notice again, he said here that we had that, it was what she wanted, and he went along for the ride. Translation, she led the relationship. She had dictated the terms of the relationship. No guy should never agree to anything that he doesn't want to go along with. You should be the one leading the relationship, not her. And what happens to all these stories, guys, I do when the woman is calling all the shots and leading the relationship, and the guy just goes along with it? Does she respect him? Hell no. And that's where all these problems begin. So right then and there, these are all these mistakes this guy was doing early on. Anyhow, he says, things definitely started shifting right after our marriage. Well, there's a shocker. With our open marriage, we set the boundaries that we'd only have fun with mutual friends and talk about agreements beforehand. Right before we bought our home, my wife admitted that she spent a night with her ex-boyfriend and later revealed there was no protection. Oh my God. So right then and there, you get married, all of a sudden things are changing already. As if they weren't bad enough. You should have ended it right there. Even though you just got married, no, she's already proven that she's a liar and a cheater. And if you think that just things are going to get better, it's not. Again, how do you expect someone to be true to you when your whole relationship was open? Okay? She won't ever cake and eat it too. You obviously were the stable guy she could be with. Okay? Take care of the bills and all that and put that ring on her finger because by and large most gals want to have that ring on their finger so they can have that, show the world that some dude actually wanted to commit to them and have that security of the bills being paid and all that. But meanwhile, she could go have a free pass to hook up dudes left and right. And you went along with this. And I gotta wonder, did you have was the open thing something you did beforehand with previous relationships, or was this your first time? I'm guessing it was your first time, but you were so probably mesmerized by her beauty and that she was fun and probably good in the sack that you let it slide. How could you want to marry a gal that was hooking up with other dudes while you're with her? I just do not get this. Sounds to me you got insecurity issues. There could be desperation there, needing for approval. Who knows? Bad way to go. Anyhow, she hooked up with her ex. He says, I was devastated. That's where all the trust evaporated overnight, and even though I still loved her, I didn't feel respected anymore. Bro, if she doesn't respect you, she ain't gonna love you. And again, remember, women don't love the way guys love. Make that clear too. I decided to put the house solely in my name. We bought the home when we were married, but this comes into play later on down the road. Well, good. I'm glad it's 100% in your name. You did something right here. I continued to progress in my career and being the breadwinner and thought my wife was happy. Slowly but surely, the bedroom fun started to feel like a chore and could tell she was checking out. I should also mention my wife had a high body count of men previous to our relationship. Imagine that. Bro, I wish you had somebody to tell you these things before you got involved with this woman, let alone before you married her. If you had somebody that could tell you these things and point these mistakes out, you probably wouldn't have married her. At least I hope not. And yeah, you're the sole breadwinner. Imagine that. Now, see what I tell you? She's got her cake and eat it too. You pay the bills. You put that ring on her finger. She can see she's a Mrs. somebody. And she can go up and hook up with other dudes. And she also knows she can hook up with other dudes and not wear protection, I might add. And you're still going to stay with her. Why would she respect you? Why would anybody respect someone like that? See, bro? She's a piece of garbage. But your actions did not help your case. It only enabled her behavior to keep disrespecting you, keep cheating, keep lying, keep doing all. You see what I mean? Anyhow, he says here, 2 years right after the pandemic started, she pulled the rug under me and let me know she wanted to break away from me and she wasn't afraid to provide for herself. Okay. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. See ya. That's what you should have done. Take care of yourself. Break away. Like you were really trapping her. Well, in her mind, she was being trapped. She hired a spiritual coach and thought she could replicate the same amount of success right away. Fast forward to today, and she's still struggling to launch her coaching business. Yeah, being independent isn't so easy, right, huh? Also, it doesn't feel very good with all the demasculation and treating me like garbage as I continue to financially support her. So, she cheated with her ex right after you got married. You should have gotten rid of her then, but you didn't. So that showed her how she could treat you. Then she said, oh, I want to break away from you and be on my own and break up with you. And still you kept her around and kept supporting her. Is this going to make her respect you more and treat you better? Or is this going to make her have less respect for you and treat you worse? Less respect. Stand up for yourself. Have a freaking spine. Be a man. Don't be a pussy. And that's what you've been, man. I don't mean to be a jerk, but somebody's got to break it to you. She deployed a lot of emotional manipulation to have me still provide and pay for her lifestyle. Imagine that. She convinced me to sleep in separate bedrooms. I did it to give her space, and she said she needed it. I really should have kicked her out of the house at that point. See? You know, looking back, you know. The problem is, guys, is that when your relationship guys, you meet that girl that you just are so attracted to and feel so in love with and so connected and blah, 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 and you focus on all the great things in the beginning, they ignore all the shit that's going on and how she's treating you in the present. And how you let her get away with stuff in the present is going to determine your future with her. It says about a year ago, she reconnected with the ex-boyfriend that she had the affair with. To add on to the misery, I was already feeling she decided to commit into a relationship with him, even with us still married. And you're still with her, why? Why, bro? Looking back, I felt completely disgusted with myself for not standing up for myself back then and continuing to allow it. Good. I'm glad you can admit that. I respect that you can admit that. You did allow it. You didn't stand up for yourself. Women don't respect guys that they disrespect the guys and treat them like crap, and the guys just take it. This is why I did that video about bad boys and nice guys a couple days ago, which some of you guys saw. One of the big things between bad boys and nice guys, or at least high-value guys and nice guys, is that the bad boys, the high-value guys, stand up for themselves. They don't take her shit. They check her. They call her on their bullshit. And they're ready to walk if she disrespects them or doesn't change. You didn't do any of that. Until they know that you can walk away like this and replace them like this, they're never going to love you. Never going to happen. They got to respect you. It is what it is. It's just like little kids. You ever notice the little kids are always testing their parents or their teachers with all the bullshit they can get away with? And they had that parent that lays down the law. They don't mess with them very often because they know they piss that parent off. Boom. They're getting their ass whipped later on in the day. Right? But the parent that allows them to get away with shit, the kids keep messing with them. It's the same thing with women. And yes, I am comparing children and women because a lot of times the behavior can be very similar. I'm being honest, guys. Anyhow, he says here, she would offer me affection and intimacy here and there to keep me ignorant of any of my dignity or self-respect, so I played along to earn any form of closeness with her. I was completely addicted and made her my world. Wrong. You need to be her world, not the other way around. So in other words, she was my queen. I put her on the pedestal. The sun rose and set with her in my eyes. What happens when guys make girls their world? What happens when guys, they put them on the pedestal? What happens with guys, they have the attitude that she's their queen and all that? In all the movies and TV and all the songs, they say the guy should do that and everything works out well. But in real life, what happens? This shit. Or in varying degrees. Okay? Doesn't mean you gotta be awful to her, certainly not. But making her your whole world and just letting her walk all over you and treat you like crap? No. Whoosh, she's out of there. The turning point, well, hallelujah, we have a turning point here. The turning point was last spring after I took her to Hawaii for a week. It was my ultimate Hail Mary to win her back. Smack. Bro, she should be trying to win you back, not the other way around. She's been doing all this awful stuff to you, lying and cheating and all that, and you got to win her back? Does this sound right to you as I'm repeating this? No, she needs to win you back, but you should have been gone a long time ago. I mean, you should have married her, but certainly a long time ago. Win her back? I wouldn't take her to Hawaii a week. I wouldn't take her to fucking Taco Bell for a week. I wouldn't take her to Taco Bell for an hour. She doesn't deserve anything. She should be showering you with gifts and affection to get you back. Appeasement doesn't work, guys. Appeasing an aggressor, a bully, whatever you want to call it, someone that takes advantage of you. Appeasement never works. Never has worked in human history, never will work in human history. And that same thing can go with bullies or somebody in a relationship. We even did a couple's photo shoot professionally done and had a really great time together. However, I could tell she was still invested in her affair partner. Not even a day after we got back from the trip, she said she missed her affair partner. Smack. Again, I felt absolutely devastated she was so easily cast away the time and energy that we had spent together. Because you're a meal ticket to her. You're just money. That's it. She doesn't respect you or care about you. And yes, don't get me wrong. Like I said, she's a piece of crap and she's a narcissist amongst many other things. But you're too good of a guy to tolerate this shit. But your niceness, your nice guy ways, cause a lot of these problems, man. This is where I started to finally regain my dignity. I decided to I tried to play up to my image and try to walk away as unscathed as I could and divorce her. Thank the Lord. Not surprisingly, she and her boyfriend decided to move in together last summer. This is when I brought up to my wife I wanted an uncontested divorce. She was ripe with feelings for her affair partner, so when I wrote out the stipulation I'd receive the full equity of the house, my bank account, and retirement accounts, she agreed. Okay, good. I gave her a week to decide after another weekend of vacationing with her affair partner, and she signed the stipulation in front of a notary, and I filed it the same day. She ended up going out to the bar that night with her affair partner, getting dolled up and spending another intimate encounter with him, I guess in celebration. And he says, yeah, I surely felt like a valued husband. The only value you had to her was your paycheck. That's it. I'm sorry to say that, man, but that's what it is. But don't worry. You're young. You can rebuild. 3 weeks after my wife wasn't able to get housing with her affair partner as originally planned. Now, understanding her predicament, she filed a motion with the court to dismiss our stipulation and go to mediation. Oh, imagine that. She can't get a housing with her partner. Sounds like Chad or Tyrone, the affair partner, doesn't even have a house, or maybe he's living with his mom or something. I don't know. So now she wants to be back with you. He says, go figure. I then lawyered up, and we had several hearings with the courts. My wife never hired an attorney. I believe she thought her spiritual leanings told her she didn't need any of that. Well, it turns out she lost her case and tried filing an erroneous second motion with her newly hired attorneys and lost that too a few weeks ago. Now she filed an objection to be heard by the judge. My lawyers are very confident the objection will also be denied and the final divorce papers can then be signed. I racked up $10,000 of legal fees, but my wife also has a lot of legal fees too, and may even be able to ask for my fees to be paid if I win, but I will most likely elect to pay my own anyway. Good freaking luck trying to get her to pay your legal fees. I mean, even if you get it done, you still seem like so much of a nice guy that you wouldn't enforce it. I would. He says, an update. I also should add in the second motion she filed with her attorneys, she made up lies about me, wait for it, coercing and lying to her. Things like I told her not to hire a lawyer because it was too expensive. The commissioner saw right through that BS and denied her and hope the judge does too. When my lawyer read through the motion with me, he said there is no chance at reconciliation. No, of course there's no chance at reconciliation. You gotta be shitting me. Also, the hearing before the judge just got scheduled for April 5th. The finish line is so close now. Writing this all out seems almost too absurd to be true. I'm trying to survive the present the best I can, stay focused on my career, and trying to enjoy playing the piano and my other hobbies to not think about this. It doesn't help that my wife gives me glimpses of wanting me back, but the past is just too painful reconciliation. I know I can find another partner that loves me and respects me, but for the present moment, I feel paralyzed and heartbroken over this journey. Well, I'm going to come back to this. I know I can find someone that will love and respect me at the end here, because I have a lot to say about that, my friend. He says, ultimately, I just want to move on with my life, and maybe I'll laugh at all looking back on it one day. The universe has an interesting way of unfolding. Hope that karma works as designed. Also, any suggestions on getting her out of my home? I feel like I can't kick her out legally unless we're officially divorced. She has mentioned to me many times she fears of me kicking her out. At the same time, she tells me she has other living arrangements planned, but nothing has ever materialized. Okay, so first I'm not a lawyer, so for any of you lawyers watching, please chime in to help this dude out. Okay, so good for you that she, back in the day, agreed that the house is solely in your name, amongst other things. And good for you for finally ending this goddamn relationship here, if it even was a relationship. But as for your question about getting her out of the house, if the house is in your name and it's not considered to be a marital asset, I don't see why you can't get her out of there. Just essentially say, get the fuck out. Go live with your boyfriend or whatever. But obviously she's hoping you'll change your mind because she knows she's in a losing situation. And so she was hoping she can sweet talk you and put on the charm to help make you change your mind. Do not change your mind at all. Tell her to get the hell out of your house. That's what I think you need to do. Now, I don't know where you live. And I know what the laws are, so I would talk to your lawyer and say, what legally can I do to get her the hell out of here? He may say, well, you can't do it until you're divorced. I don't know what. But find out from him because he's the pro. He should freaking know. And if you can get her out, okay? The more you're around her, the more it's going to be harder for you to be strong and do what you got to do. So you need to distance yourself from her as much as possible. So second you get on watching this video, and I'll email you because you emailed me that this has been published, call your lawyer. Find out how you can get her out of there legally. And if you can't, if it takes literally till the divorce is done, then okay, you got to suffer through it. But otherwise, get her the hell out of there. But I gotta say this, man. Made a lot of mistakes. If I came out as kind of harsh in this video, it was not personal, but it's to help you out, and your examples can help other dudes out there. But you mentioned here that you hope one day to be in another relationship, to have someone that'll treat you well and love you and all that stuff and respect you. Bro, the last thing you need in this point in your life right now is a relationship. You need to work on yourself. You need to understand and really figure out why you are the type that you are that allowed someone like this to constantly disrespect you, take advantage of you, all that. Because I'm telling you right now, you could divorce her and wipe your hands clean with her and then meet another chick next week who's awesome and amazing. But if you continue to be behaving the way that you have, this nice guy behavior, making her your whole world, appeasing her, doing all these things, even if she's not like her, she's going to lose respect for you. And she'll start testing and start doing and saying things to test your strength. And if you don't stand up for yourself and be a man and call her on her BS and all these other things I tell you got to do if you are a relationship guy, she'll lose respect for you. And either she'll just treat you worse, or she'll cheat, or walk away, or any of those things. So you need to take a while to really work on yourself and figure out, why is it that I do the things I do? If it means investing in therapy, figure these things out, why you're a pleaser and all these types of things, then do it. It's worth your time and money. But you can't be like this. You can't go, you got to put yourself first. I always talk about in my videos how women should be dead last. Even for your relationship guys, it should be your purpose first, then the gym and your health, then your closest circle of bros, then your dog and your cat, and then your family, and I mean the family like your cousins and your brother and all that, then women. And it doesn't mean the women that you are in a relationship with you're treating badly. You treat them equal to how they're treating you. If they're treating you with respect and they're loyal and they're feminine and all that, then you're good to them. But you don't make them the center of your world. The sun doesn't rise and set with them, because when it does, what happens? Bullshit. Bullshit happens. That's what happens in all these stories I do. I think I got close to 800 videos on this channel. I think I've taken down at least 50 videos that caused issues with YouTube. So I got a lot of videos in circulation of stories about guys that did make their girl their world, did put them on a pedestal, did kiss their ass, didn't stand up for themselves. How to work out for those guys? Not very well. And how to work out for you in your story here, right here? Not very well. So if you want a girl to love and respect you, got to first work on yourself to love and respect yourself so much that you won't put up with any bullshit down the road. Then, and only then, if that's what you want in terms of a relationship, can you actually get what you want to have. Again, no woman's going to love you if they don't respect you. And again, their version of love is different than ours. Keep that in mind. They can love you to death, but believe me, the second you lose your job and you can't provide, all of a sudden that love is whoosh, right out the door, unless you are quickly trying to get another job or career, and that's another conversation. But you got to work on yourself, man. And then down the road, when you really have worked on yourself and figured things out and made you the best you can be, then and only then are you ready, in my opinion, to actually start dating and going on that. But marriage, you know my opinion about marriage in the 2020s. So that's all I got to say. So for you guys watching this, you see all the mistakes he made. He said he married a gal that wanted an open relationship before the relationship and during the marriage. Recipe for disaster, okay? And again, what does it say about the guy who wrote the story and wrote to me about his self-worth if he actually wanted to marry a gal and would put up with this open marriage bullshit or open relationship bullshit? Says a lot. So this is why I tell him he's got to work on himself. So for any of you guys out there that have a history of being pleasers and not standing up for yourself and all that, perfect example. In the worst case, what can happen how gals, because there are gals out there will be rubbing their hands together, just waiting for that sucker they can find it, take advantage of. And I want that to happen to you guys. So I share these stories and experiences to give examples and point these things out so it doesn't happen to you guys that are watching this. And I got dudes watching me all over the world, and this helps out, and I'm glad I can. So to the guy who sent this, I appreciate you doing so. I appreciate you having the balls to do it, because you're going to get a lot of shit in the comment section, I guarantee you that. But if you can learn from this, if it can make you stronger, that which does not kill you makes you stronger, and move forward, okay, because you're young. What do you say, 33? You're a baby in my eyes. I'm 44. I'm an old man compared to you. So you got your whole life ahead of you. Focus on your purpose. Do well in your career. Sounds like you are. All that. Don't make these mistakes again. But get some therapy, self-help, read a lot of books. You'll be all right. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me just think about this. And guys, if you have a story you'd like to share with me in your own personal life, things that you've overcome, how you've been successful, whatever, you know the types of stories, email it to me. This also goes for any very good articles that you find online. The more you send to me, guys, and make it easy for me to find good material, the more videos I can crank out every day. I'd love to do 2 videos here on SSM every day. Another one on my other channel, They Did What, and I definitely am not hurting for subject matter, but the more you send in, makes my job easier. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.